Habemus papam.
We have a pope.
In a historic moment for the Catholic Church and the world, the Conclave of May 2025 has elected a new leader of over 1.3 billion Catholics, Pope Leo XIV. For the first time in history, the Bishop of Rome is an American. Born Robert Francis Prevost in Chicago, Illinois in 1955, Pope Leo XIV brings a unique perspective to the papacy. A member of the Order of St. Augustine, he spent more than 2 decades serving in one of the most impoverished regions of Peru. His time in Latin America deeply shaped his priorities, focusing on service, simplicity, and advocacy for the marginalized. Known for his calm demeanor, fluency in Spanish, and ability to navigate political instability, his experience in Latin America makes him especially attuned to the complex challenges facing the Church today.
One of the biggest religious and immigration stories of the late 19th and early 20th century America was the arrival of European Catholics. They settled and worked in big cities: Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and yes, Chicago. Probably coincidentally, America found itself first an emerging, then obvious superpower at the same time. So much so that the idea of an American pope was not serious, too hazardous, it was thought, to attach the global church to a first emerging, then realized global industrial and political power. Until this afternoon, that assumption was thought to still hold true. Until, for the first time in the history of the Catholic Church, it was not. To the thunderstruck surprise of really experienced Vatican watchers and the tens of thousands joyously arrayed around St. Peter's, the name Robert Francis Prevost was spoken. An American from Chicago, a graduate of Villanova, just north of Philadelphia, was the new Pope. Pope Leo XIV, he shall be. An American successor to Pope Francis, Pope Leo XIV spoke of universal love, bridge building, peace, and service. In the past, Cardinal Prevost had expressed some sympathy with critics of Vice President J.D. Vance's theological argument that there are hierarchies of love, that outsiders or non-citizens naturally receive less of that love than, say, for example, a family member, close friend, or a citizen. Whether Pope Leo XIV's election was meant as an American counterweight within the Vatican to Vance's theological construct or global hostility to immigrants in general, only the elected cardinals know the answer to that. But the first American pope will doubtless, for a time, electrify Catholics here and likely the Americas, with consequences theological and possibly political to come.
When the white smoke rose above the Sistine Chapel on May 8, 2025, signaling the election of a new pope, many were surprised to hear the name Leo. The name invokes a line of reformist popes, including Leo the Great, known for his theological and administrative contributions. By choosing this name, Pope Leo XIV has signaled a commitment to both church tradition and a strong, reformative voice in uncertain times. Pope Leo XIV's first words from the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica were simple, yet powerful. Peace be with all of you.
La pace sia con tutti voi.
Peace be with you all.
Fratelli, sorelle carissimi.
Dearest brothers and sisters,
Questo è il primo saluto del Cristo risorto.
this is the first
Il buon
greetings
pastore
of the
che ha dato
resurrected
la
Christ,
vita per il gregge di Dio.
the Good Shepherd who has given up his
Anch'io
life
vorrei che questo
for God.
saluto di
And
pace
I should also like
entrasse
this
nel
greeting
vostro
of
cuore,
peace
raggiungesse
to enter
le
our
vostre
hearts
famiglie,
and
a tutte
your
le
families,
persone,
and to all
ovunque
those
siano,
people, wherever they
a
are,
tutti i popoli, a tutta
all
la terra.
peoples
La
throughout the
pace
world.
sia con voi.
Peace be with you.
This brief message reflected his commitment to healing, unity, and calm, not only within the Church, but for a global audience facing many crises. His election marks a shift in the Vatican's global outlook, underscoring the growing influence of the Americas and the global South in the Catholic Church. Pope Leo XIV is expected to focus on synodality, a more inclusive model of church governance that prioritizes dialogue with clergy and laity alike. Known for his consensus-building approach, he prefers conversation over decree, fostering collaboration across the global church. His leadership style is likely to emphasize unity, balance, and humility, responding to the increasing demand for strong pastoral leadership in an era of social, political, and spiritual complexity. Social justice, poverty, and care for the marginalized are likely to remain central themes of his pontificate. Like his predecessor, Pope Francis, he has demonstrated concern for migrants, indigenous communities, and others often overlooked by society. His moderate stance on controversial issues like clerical celibacy, the role of women in the church, and the inclusion of LGBTQ+ Catholics suggests he will maintain core doctrine while remaining open to pastoral flexibility in continued dialogue on these topics.
One prominent U.S. bishop has a possible explanation for the lack of an American leader of the world's Catholics up until now. Robert Barron, he's been on the show, bishop of the Diocese of Minnesota, was appointed less than a week ago by President Trump to the new White House Commission on Religious Liberty. However, today he's at the Vatican. Hold on, let's get to the part about this guy. Barron has spent days speaking with the cardinals, including the 133 electors tasked with electing the new pope. He had to be under a certain age in order to vote. Okay, where does he say? This guy. He's going through, he's handicapping all of the Americans. Okay, now he gets to Prevost. One American name has popped up repeatedly amid the gossip over leading contenders, Cardinal Robert Prevost. He is undoubtedly qualified, as the only clear qualifications for the role of pontiff are that they be male and Catholic. But emerging on top with the necessary backing of just over 2/3 of the voting cardinal electors will require far more than just eligibility. Originally from Chicago, Prevost is the head of the church's dicastery for bishops. The powerful position means he oversees the selection of new bishops. For any cardinal electors who may be turned off by his American nationality, it's not his only one. He's a dual citizen. He's also a citizen of Peru, where he served for many years. He's seen overall as a centrist on some key social issues. Leo, there he's going by Leo the 14th. While Prevost is seen overall as a centrist on some key social issues, he is viewed as progressive. He has long embraced marginalized groups, a lot like Francis, who champion migrants and the poor. Well, I mean, that's kind of what the Catholic Church does. But also, like Pope Francis, the Illinois native opposes ordaining women as deacons. I mean, again. So on that point, he's seen as conservative on church doctrine.
Pope Leo XIV inherits a church at a crossroads. The war in Ukraine continues to ravage Europe, while the church in Africa is experiencing growth, but faces significant internal tensions. In Western nations, secularism is on the rise, eroding traditional religious participation. Within the Vatican itself, divisions over the future direction of reform persist, and Pope Leo XIV will need to navigate these challenges carefully. The Pope also assumes responsibility for overseeing the Holy Year 2025, a major Jubilee event that will bring millions of pilgrims to Rome. His decisions in the first weeks of his papacy will set the tone for how he handles the ceremonial and substantive demands of his new role. Despite the challenges, Pope Leo XIV's leadership is already drawing attention.
What greater honor could there be? And we were a little bit surprised, very happy. It was just a great, absolutely great honor.
Is this the first of many?
Are you planning to meet the Pope in the near future?
Mr. President,
Have you met him before?
They've already called.
They've already called. When is that? Do you have a time in mind?
They have already spoken to us, and we'll see what happens. But again, to have the Pope from the United States of America, that's a great honor. That's a great honor.
Sir, had you met him before? Sir, had you?
I'm watching, and they said he's from America. I said, that's great.
His early actions suggest he will continue the pastoral approach of Pope Francis, but with a new emphasis on unity and American pragmatism. His papacy begins at a pivotal time, not just for Catholics, but for a world searching for spiritual and moral guidance. In just a few days, Pope Leo XIV has already made history as the first American pope. The question now is how he will shape it. His papacy promises to be one of great significance, potentially transforming the Church's role in the world. With his emphasis on social justice, inclusivity, and dialogue, Pope Leo XIV's leadership will be instrumental in navigating the challenges ahead. both within the Church and in the broader global community.